Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Thank you for being here. Today, guys, in a Business Players Live, I have the honor of having an amazing guest, okay? An immigrant like me, okay? Is this guy right here. Good looking dude. What do you think? So this guy, okay, is an amazing human being and he's a sales trainer. I'm going to present this guy properly, okay? His name is Brayan Garcia. He's here with us right now. I'll present him. He's a sales trainer, okay, with 8 years of experience, 8.5 years of experience. So he's got a lot of time doing this, okay? He's helped dozens and dozens of businesses throughout the years. He's a speaker. He speaks at events, okay, like I do virtually and real life events too. He travels, okay, from here in the States and to Mexico. Amazing speaker, okay? He's a business owner and a serial entrepreneur, but he's also got a huge and amazing story that he's going to share with us in a second. He's a Daca dreamer, okay? That is a program to study here from Mexico and other countries in the US. So he'll share more of that incredible story with you guys, okay? But without further ado, big welcome to my friend Brayan Garcia. Woo!
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. That guy in the picture looks better, man, than the one here, right? Well, I'm excited. It's a pleasure for me to having, for you permitting to be on your channel. It's a pleasure, man. So I'm here to support. I'm here to add value in whatever way I can.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Tell us, how are you? How are you doing right now?
I'm great. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with life. I feel blessed. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy and much love my way. So it's part of the daily affirmations that I say. Maybe that's why I constantly have these things in my life. And I feel very, very blessed. Just this year alone has been a very interesting year, right? Right after that 1 year that kind of like lost its way in life. And now this year is kind of everything's getting adapted and everything is coming back to a new normal, right? That's the word that we're using. And I feel very blessed, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy we can speak and add value to people. And it's always an opportunity for constant growth.
Yes, 100%. Guys, I met Brayan because we were both in a Hispanic engagement, speaking engagement. Okay, it was canceled, but I'm sure Brayan and I will do more stuff here, probably in Las Vegas, virtually and stuff. This guy, he's like, as soon as I met this guy, I felt something like, this guy, he's legit. He's got a good energy, mindset, business mindset. Okay, and we'll talk about that. He'll tell us more about business mindset because this guy is huge at that. Okay, and but man, let's tell these people about your story. You have an incredible story, Brayan. Share with my people here, my audience.
Absolutely.
Your audience now.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you a little bit of my background, where I come from, and part of my journey. I've always said that the journey itself is the gift in success, right? It's not the actual, a goal that you have. It's the journey itself. And then you understand it once you achieve goals in life, you start understanding the value of the things you went through in your journey, in your life. You start seeing, wow, you know what? Thank God I went through this because now I have a story to tell, right? Because imagine you open up a book and then you have a blank sheets of paper. I mean, there's nothing in the book, right? You have to have chapters. You have to have stories to tell. So I feel very, very blessed, very gifted. I was born in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. That's the land of tequila. Right. And if you like tequila, that's where it comes from. There you go. And my parents came to the US when I was about 3 years old. So I really had no option. I just, I guess my mom said, go to sleep. And then I woke up and then I'm in the US. I don't know how that happened. Don't ask me how. but I was here in the US and I grew up in California, in LA. And, it's interesting because I grew up in a community, in a city that was there was a lot of Latinos, a lot of Hispanics. So for me, it was very normal to just kind of, neighbors and friends. And I guess they were all from Mexico. And the interesting part here was that I was blessed to study here. And when I graduated from high school, and I wanted to pursue a career. My career was going to be business administration, international business. And when I was going to pursue my career, that was when my first, I guess, barrier, the first wall hit, because since I'm a Daca, I'm a dreamer. And at that point in time, the US said that you could not pursue a career. If you were Daca, you can pursue a career. So then I was shocked, because my school counselor was telling me, Brian, you have to go to school for 4 to 6 years, get a student loan debt for about $80,000. And then possibly get hired so that you can make $40,000 and then be in debt your whole life. But wait, Brian, you know what? You can't even pursue a career. You can't even get a job. So I'm like, what's going on? I mean, the system somehow is broken, right? But then I figured, why did it take so much time? So that I studied literally all my life. I worked hard at school so that this can happen. So here I am, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I grew up with a single mother and a small little sister in a small little room in Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
So I had to do something with my life. And then I realized that when things happen, right, things don't really happen to you, they happen for a reason for you, right? And I didn't understand that at that moment, but then I said, you know what, I have to do something with my life. So I got 2 jobs. I worked in graveyard shift, washing dishes at a restaurant. I'm not going to say the name, but they sell pancakes. And they sell really good pancakes, and so I worked there, graveyard shift, and then during the day I started doing sales. And I realized I was very good at sales. I realized pretty soon I left my night shift, and then all I started doing was sales. And I realized I was good with people, and I realized that I had enough money to pay rent and help out mom, help out sister, and then have some money for me. And then sooner or later, I mean, to make the long story short, I mean, as time went by, I was making more money and felt more successful than even some of my peers that actually went the route of college and, got their career. I don't have nothing against education. I think it's important. Right. But sales just changed my life. And then I realized that I didn't go to school for sales, but I learned in the school of hard knocks, right? I learned the door-to-door thing. I learned the belly to belly. And it just became so incredible to understand that the biggest gift in sales is understanding people. When you work with people, you have to understand one thing, that people don't seek to understand, they seek to be understood. And in the process of me building, what I call my empire, it took me a while to actually be aware of that huge statement. I was doing it in my subconscious mind, I didn't even know I was delivering that and doing that. But now that I'm aware, I can tell you with all certainty, if you make people feel understood and you solve their problems, you can get any product or service in their hands. Right. So that's a little bit of my story. I mean, now I've traveled around the world, and I've spoken in the biggest stage I've spoke to is over 10,000 people, which was I became addicted to that energy, man. I never thought it'd be that powerful. I mean, and just speaking in general to the public was just amazing. So I feel blessed now that thanks to technology, we have the opportunity to just go and network with other people in all parts of the world. And here we are. We're just getting started. That's what I believe. We're just getting started. Yeah.
No, man, I know we are just getting started. You are just getting started because your energy, I felt it, like I said before, as soon as I met you, I'm like, this guy, is gonna do something good, really good stuff. But man, tell us how do you end up in the sales and business world? You already kind of said that you got a sales job, but how do you get the sales job? And what was it? And tell us a little bit more about that.
So my first sales job, it was really funny, but it was selling. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Kirby. Kirby is the vacuums. They're huge vacuums. They're about $3,000, $4,000. I don't know how much they are now, but there's some huge vacuums. These are machines. I mean, they're really good stuff. They can do anything. They can clean carpets. They can clean tile. They're just amazing machines. And for me, it was an incredible experience because I've never really done. I mean, at that point in my life, I had never really done sales, right? Because I thought I had never really done sales. I was working, washing dishes. So it was totally different aspects, totally different aspects. So what I fell in love about sales was the mindset they delivered. So for me, it was like, you know what, if I have to do this to get this, then I'll do it, because I became very intrigued with the things that they started saying about, personal growth. And if you want things to change, you have to change. And if you want your financial life to change, then you have to, focus in your mind so your pocket can grow. And I was like, whoa, all these phrases, all these things just started hitting my brain and my soul. And I said, well, you know what? I don't know if I can really sell a Kirby or whatever, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And they put me in it was so funny, man. When I got started, they put us in this room every morning, 7 a.m. And they motivated us. And then, everybody comes out all hyped up and clapping, and they put you in a van and they take you to like a small little community, and then you go knock doors. It was incredible, man. I mean, that Kirby deal was it weighed more than me. I mean, put it that way. It was so heavy. It was just incredible. But I learned a lot because I learned the first experiences. I learned how to knock doors. And when you knock doors, you have literally, your tone of voice, you have 3 seconds to catch people's attention. And then how do you catch people's attention? How do you keep them there? And then how do you actually get in their home? And once you get in their home, how do you pre-qualify the person? How do I identify their personality, whether there's other people in the room? Who's the decision maker? I mean, all these things I learned, and I'm like, that's interesting. I didn't, create a huge career from selling, Kirby. I know a lot of people that did, but I learned a lot. So from there, I met some gentlemen that got me into sales for the radio station. And I said, well, if I can sell, Kirby, then I can definitely sell spots for the radio. And that was another experience, because now I'm in the music industry. Right. And I love music. I love artists. I just in general. So I started connecting with people, and I used the strategies I learned over here. I used them in the whole radio industry. And then from there, I learned a lot too, right? Because there's a lot of different, it's so interesting, man. But depending on the industry you're in, it's like you have to speak to people's ego differently. Isn't that amazing? I mean, we all have egos, right? But depending on the industry we're in, we have to speak to people's egos differently. And I learned that. So that for me, that was a huge impact. I was pretty successful in that. And at a young age, people, now I have a beard and people kind of think I'm old enough, but back in the day, man, I looked so young. I have a baby face. So imagine me, I'm like, with the suit and I'm doing all these sales. People would look at me like, this guy's getting all those sales in. And it was incredible, man. So that was the first part of my whole sales experience. And then as time progressed, I was pretty good at it, man. I mean, and then when people would ask me, what are you doing? See, that's when my business changed. And now I do what I do now, because when someone asks me, how are you doing it, Brayan? And what are you doing? I literally stopped and I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm learning. I know how to talk to people. I'm doing what they tell me, but I really didn't know. And here's the deal. If you don't know how you did it, then you don't have a blue book. You don't have a strategy you can duplicate. You can't teach someone. You can't teach someone, then that means you really don't understand what you're doing. And, your business is not going to grow. So I realized that I had to take note on what were the step-by-step things that I was doing to connect with the client, to get referrals from that client, and have communities of people shopping with you for the rest of their lives. So I learned all those concepts, and then I started teaching them. And then that's when another business of mine came in, right? Which is sales trainings.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's great. So you became a business owner and you started your own business out of just your talent, but you translated that talent into something that is replicable, like duplicable. People can actually go, and you teach them now because you were like, this is what I was doing wrong. I fixed it. And on top of that, I was already good at it. And I'm just explaining people my process of how I've been doing it for how long were you doing it until you decided to jump the bridge and start your own thing?
It took me about 5 years. 5 years. Yeah, anywhere 4 or 5 years. I mean, I was going consistent, going strong, and literally everything that I was doing, I was either breaking records or just being very successful at it. And that's when I stopped. And like I mentioned to you, I had to get that blue book because I said,
Yeah.
there's certain things that I'm doing that maybe can help someone. But here's the biggest setback, right? And this is another thing that I always teach people. What stopped me from actually teaching other people was kind of ignoring what the world thought, right? Because people criticize, oh, this guy's just selling, he's just trying to get sales, and don't listen to him, and don't listen to that. And I'm like, well, you know what, man, I have to get rid of all the negativity of small-minded people. And
100%.
I truly have to believe, because I do believe in my knowledge. I do believe in what I can do, and have the confidence and the certainty that I can go into any room and deliver. So once I shifted that, and I had this self-belief and this positive self-image of myself, everything transformed. Because every time I would stop into, I mean, it can be anywhere, in a real estate office, in a sales, just in general, any type of sales. When I would walk into the office, it was so incredible that when I started teaching what I had done, people that had been in 20 years of sales, some people 30 years of sales will look to me and say, you know what, I've never heard of concepts like those. And I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, and it just brought some more certainty to me. And I said, you know what, I really think I can add value to people, and not just people in sales, just people in general, because you have to learn how to sell in life. You have to learn how to, whatever it is that you want to do in life, you have to learn how to utilize your resources, right? Because I always tell people, it's not the lack of resources, it's the lack of resourcefulness that doesn't get you where you want. So you have to understand that in life, whatever is it that you're currently going through, whatever is it that you have, if you learn how to use that, then you are ready for success. If you if you have a scarcity mindset and you think you're always missing something, then that's the problem. You are missing something, which is self-belief and the lack of creativity to utilize what you have so you can be successful, because you have it in you already. So that's what I did for myself. And I believe in congruency. So I thought to myself, well, what am I currently doing that I can teach? I'm not going to teach something that I read in a book, and I'm not going to teach something that I went just to a seminar and did it. I want to teach something that if I read it, I did it and I lived it. And that's what I've done all my life.
Man, what you just said about resourcefulness, wow, that was the bomb. If we had a button here to drop a bomb on that one, I would.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you know what? Think about this for a minute. I mean, that's one of the reasons why most people, that if you find, for example, out of 10 entrepreneurs, maybe 80% of them will, if you have Latinos in the room, right? 80% of Latinos will understand that statement a little bit more when it comes to resourcefulness. Because when we come to this country, right, it's a different country, right? We're a minority, and you have to learn how to be creative and utilize whatever is it that you have to actually go conquer. So it's not that you have to sit down and say, oh, if I only wish I had this, I only wish if I had that. Right. Because I always tell people, look, it's constant growth. Yes, you have to learn. Yes, you have to constantly grow. Yes, you have to adapt. But whatever is it that you have, you give your biggest hit with what you have. That is what matters the most, because you're unique. And your 100%. Own style of teaching things and your own style of viewing life, that's what makes you unique, and that's what makes the sale go. So at the end of the day, man, I mean, if everybody just believed in themselves just a little bit more, I think we'd have a whole different, I guess, results in general.
Yeah. What you're talking about, man, it's in marketing, it's branding. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's just uniqueness, right? That is what branding is where most people fall off, is businesses, right? Business people and businesses is they want to just copy the other people. They don't do what you just said that you did, which is, I can learn it and all of that and, and apply it. And then I make it my own. And, I have my own way of explaining it, or it's my own thing. And that's what I share with people, but not sharing other stuff that other salespeople, teach all the time or whatever, because that is the difference between Brayan Garcia and these other sales trainers.
Oh, yeah. It's a matter of identity, you know, and people lose their identity and people lose their vision because they're consistently pursuing someone else's vision. Yeah. See, and then that's a big mistake. You applaud and you learn from other people's goals and visions, but you have to have clarity in what your vision is,
100%.
adapt the strategies, but like you said, have this uniqueness, have this clarity in the way you present things. And that's what gives you personality. And that's what gives you, in reality, your self-image, so that is so important.
Yeah, man. Another question. So look, what is the biggest problem that you see in sales teams and business people when it comes to sales that you see like, man, they all make the same mistake?
It's interesting because systems are important.
Yeah.
Systems are important. I believe that when you put a system in place, it works. The problem is that when you're too systematic, you lose emotion.
I see.
And when you see, people don't buy out of, I mean, yes, some people are more analytical than others, but what moves a sale is an emotion, right? There's six human needs. And part of the needs is people want to feel certainty. And it's about feeling. So when sales teams go and they're very systematic, like for example, one time I went to this office and this one guy had these scripts and scripts are important, right? Because you have to role play and practice and stuff, but they had a script. And I told the guy, let me listen to you. I want to hear you speak to the person. And the guy he almost literally said, hi, blank, instead of saying his name, he almost said blank. Hi, my name is, and I'm like, look, man, I understand you have to have a script. You have to let loose, man. You have to let loose. You have to be you. You have to laugh. You have to have, I mean, if you think about, for example, communication, 80% of communication is nonverbal. So if you're selling person to person, I mean, I need your energy to be up. I need you moving. I need you smiling. If it's on the phone, then if it's nonverbal, then what's next? It's the tone. You have to take care of the tone of voice. So in conclusion, what do I believe it's the biggest mistake salespeople make is that their systems are important, but do not lose focus of the emotion. You have to understand that the biggest product in sales is people. People seek to be understood. So you understand them, speak their language, speak at their vibration, understand what they want, and then give it to them. It's that simple. Now, because people are too systematic, it's so crazy. If you're too systematic and for example, a potential client gives you an objection, you're going to look for another
just go crazy.
Yeah, people are like, pay chapter 3, objection number 4. No. You have to learn how to just be you, be calm. And that is key. Do not lose that connection. So the instant people in sales learn how to have connection. See, that's the first step I teach in sales. You have to learn how to connect before you pre-qualify. Connection is key. In the first, I would say 5-10 minutes, if you learn how to connect with people, then the rest will follow. If you don't know how to connect with people, you can have extraordinary questions and pre-qualifications and closings and all that. Right. Boom, it's right in the beginning. That's where the sale starts. So it's that emotion.
Yes. No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. So, man, tell us a bit more about what you do. So you come to this company let me ask you this question first. Like, you only go to companies or would you help a guy that has a sales job?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've done it in my line of work. My business is e-commerce. So I apply that in my sales force and my team and all that. But when it comes for me to do general sales trainings, I either do individuals because I do work with certain individuals. Like I have a lot of realtors, right? They have their own sales teams. A lot of real estate agents, they work for a brokerage, but in their brokerage, they have their sales team. So I go work with that person either one-on-one or with their whole team in general. So, and it's interesting because when you have an opportunity to work with someone one-on-one, here's 3 components that I focus on. And this is probably something that's gonna, you guys can learn from this when I speak to
everybody watching, take notes.
Oh yeah, these are the note takers. There's 3 components. The first thing is I focus on mindset. That's the first thing that I focus on because in sales, again, right? People want to they want to learn on what to do, how to do it, and get there faster. The first goal is mindset. The second step is learning to develop abilities. You have to learn, you have to have these abilities to build or to sell. You have to learn how to have certain abilities. And the last one is the correct strategies.
Okay.
So if you're missing one of those three, then you're not gonna, it's put it this way. It's like you're in a vehicle, right? And the car turns on right. So that's good. Motor's working fine, right? But maybe, oh, you know what, your tires are okay, right? But then you only have, I don't know, 5 miles of gas. You're not going to get that far.
Yeah.
Or let's just say that you have a full tank, but maybe you have a flat tire. You're not going to get that far. Or maybe you have a full tank, tires are great, but the car is not turning on. You're not going to get that far. So it's always these three components that I believe that help any business or any individual grow. I'm going to give you an example. Why is a mindset very important? Well, because people's self-image, bottom line, defines their success. If people believe that they are that person that they want to be, then they become that person. And most people, when I speak to them in sales, their lack of self-belief in them is incredible. They don't believe, like, for example, they speak about what they want in life, but yet they don't see themselves in it. They can't, if I always tell them, close your eyes and explain to me in detail, how does a day look like you living that life that you already want to have? And they're like, I don't know. Exactly. You have zero clue whatsoever. How would you dress? How would you smile? What would you eat? How would you present yourself? How does it feel? I don't know, Brian. Exactly. You don't know. You have zero clue. There's no clarity in the emotions. And whenever we have goals in life, you have to involve all your different emotions, not just the strategies, but you have to feel it. That's the power. Put it this way. It's the power of visualization. It's so powerful. When you visualize, it's you literally start focusing, your mind starts focusing in the results on what's going to take you to get there.
100%.
Because it's like a financial thermometer. If you're used to commonly maybe making whatever 60K a year, and you start making a little bit less, your mind seeks to stay there. Well, when it comes to emotions and mindsets, your mind, this is so key what I'm about to say right now.
Okay.
But the biggest emotional, I would say, power in a human is the need to constantly feel the way they see themselves. That is so powerful what I just said. But the need to constantly feel the way they see themselves, which means if you see yourself as a failure, well, yeah, you can have maybe 5 minutes of motivation because you went to a TED Talk or a motivational seminar.
Yeah.
But the need to constantly go back to how you see yourself. So we got to fix that. And I always tell people we got to fix what's up here before we move forward.
Yes.
So the mindset is key. When it comes to abilities, it's important. You have to learn how to have certain procedures and certain processes without losing that personal touch. But I always tell people, for example, if you walk into a room and you say hello and you start right away kind of figuring out who's who, what's what, who wants to be the leader in the room, who is more of the note taker, and you have to learn how to connect. That's part of the strategies. You have to learn how to pre-qualify your prospect. And here's the beautiful thing about sales. When it comes to abilities, the best questions give you the best sales.
100%.
It's about asking the right questions, right? I mean, questions like, how do you feel? For the questions shift a little bit shift a lot. When I tell people, ask them why you should, spend your time in serving them. And then all of a sudden you kind of like switch the whole deal. And then now they're kind of presenting to you why they want for you to help them. And it shouldn't be the other way around, Brian. No, you add value to yourself. So we have to learn the strategy part. I'm sorry, the ability part, and then the strategy part. And then that's where you would come in. I mean, people need strategies when it comes to social media. People need strategies for email marketing. And you know what's so funny? And you know this better than me. When it comes to strategies, we think we know, but no, You have to find an expert. You have to find an expert that can give you the right strategy for
100%.
maybe content creation, maybe how do I create an image? How do I brand myself? You need a strategy. So as long as we can focus on those three things, you're going to have a successful business. In the world we live in, if you ignore one of those three, it's not going to happen. You're just going to be one more, that one person that nobody ever remembered. So you have to focus on those three components. And I believe that's the base of most successes.
Man, that was great, man. Thank you so much, Brayan. So just to recap, guys, what he said, because it's fabulous, is mindset. Okay, the three things by Brayan that he says that are the most important in business and sales is mindset. You need to develop abilities, and you need to have the correct strategies. Okay. Now, Brayan, okay, so you told me you work with realtors, teams, individuals. So is there any other category, if there's somebody watching this right now and they have a business, who else do you help the most in sales? Like what type of companies?
I mean, restaurants, gym owners, anybody in general. I mean, I've done insurances, I've done real estate offices, restaurants, nice. Gym owners, anybody in general or maybe you sell some type of product, because at the end of the day, here's something that I realized. Most business owners, we get so emotionally connected with their product and our business that we forget about those three components. So I always tell people, you're jeopardizing your success because you're so emotionally connected with your business. And sometimes you have to detach that and understand that it's kind of, for example, I don't have children yet of my own, right? But I see it as when parents and their children, and I ask them, when you raise your child, do you raise them so that they can be self-sufficient, or do you raise them so that they always depend on you? And they're like, no, Brayan, I love them to death, but I have to correct them when it's needed. And I have to love them all the time. And then I have to share with them so that they can be self-sufficient and they can grow up to be, people of value, valuable to the marketplace and just valuable in life in general. I give them good morals and good that. I'm like, great, that sounds great. Well, I want you to see your business that same way. You have to build to be self-sufficient. Because if it's not self-sufficient, then it's always going to need from you. And if it always needs from you, you are not a business owner. You are self-employed. And you cannot grow as big as you want if you don't build a system and if you don't understand how this works. So it just depends. Like, for example, restaurants, when I work with restaurants, I have this great training for restaurant owners, is understanding how to position people in the right places in a restaurant. When someone goes into a restaurant and they say, you know what, I want to work. And you have to learn who you have in front. Sometimes you never know that you have a talented individual, and just because he asked, you have an opening washing dishes, but this guy's so talented and gifted in numbers, why would you have him washing dishes? Yeah. That person can add a lot of value to your business if we just take the time to understand who he is, what he does, what's his strengths, what's his weaknesses. And it's so crazy because one time I went to this restaurant and I told them, look, the reason you're not growing is because you have it all mixed up. And it's so crazy because I brought all their employees and I did this little scenario and I give them an example. Like, this person, great with numbers. This person has a great personality, very smiley, very bubbly. She should be either sitting people down or being a food server, but you have her in the back. She's amazing. Look at her energy. She's bringing positive energy to the floor, and you have her washing dishes. I mean, don't you think it would be great to teach her to be in front, because her ability is going to bring you more people? And she's like, 100%. Interesting. So then they did a shift, and then the restaurant started growing just because they switched positions. And it's kind of like so crazy. Why wouldn't they think about that? And in my experience, I've always said that it's interesting. I mean, people, if you put them in the right place, they grow faster. They love their job. And then they don't even see it as a job. They see it as a learning process. You should see that lady when they took her out from washing dishes and she's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I've never waited a table before. I'm like, great. You're learning, you're growing. And now she's an amazing food server now. And you never know. Someday she'll do something bigger, right? So that's the type of businesses. And in general, everybody in general, if you adopt those three things, you're going to understand that's why most businesses don't grow. Gym owners, for example, same thing, same scenario. They have clients and they give classes. For example, there's a lot of gyms that give like one class and there's a lot of people. Well, if you give a class and if you don't understand the type of person you have in your room, you're losing a lot of marketing potential.
Yeah.
Each individual can bring you thousands of people, but you have to learn how to speak to people. So yeah, I mean, in general, those have been the top businesses that have worked. But in general, I mean, I can tell you from, car sales. Oh man, car sales are great. I love car sales because those are amazing.
Yeah.
When I sit down with them and I teach them about when it comes to abilities and strategies, it's crazy. I tell them, one time I went to this dealership. And oh man, you should see me. That guy who will forever love me, because I went inside and I'm like, listen, you're selling cars just because you need to sell cars, but you're not creating, long lasting referrals with your clients.
Yeah.
So you have to understand what moves people, and then you take them to that type of vehicle, and then you start your pre-qualification. It's not the other way around. And shifted one little thing, different strategy, boom, sales went up.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
I was a salesperson in a car dealership too.
Okay.
And that's how I started in sales too, And yeah. And the environment is really aggressive.
Oh yeah.
But But we will get there.
some people in car, you've experienced it, but some people will buy the car. Okay, just because you sat them inside the car, you put the radio up, and you said drive.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but Brian, I have to go. Just drive. I want it.
Right.
There's some people that will buy because of safety. There's some people that will buy because it's savings and it's great. And some people will buy it because maybe they feel they're gonna get more girls with the car. I don't know. It just depends on what drives them. But here's a key component. What drives them? What connection do they have with the vehicle? Do they give them some type of identity? So once we understand the core belief of the person, then the rest comes in. Yes. Because if you can have the opportunity to sell to someone that vehicle, and you can mentally make them visualize themselves as they always have, but they don't have that extra $100, they're going to go get them.
They will.
They're going to go get them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll give a quick story, and I'll keep asking the questions. But I had this kid, man, that he came with his mom. That was when I was a car salesperson. Okay. And the kid came in, and the mom wanted him to get in a car that was less payment and all of that. So we started looking at those, but the kid didn't want that in reality, right? And man, we spent like the entire day with the kid. Nobody could close him, not even my managers. Nobody could. Okay. And the way I closed the kid is I told him when we went to the lot, right? He saw this Mustang loaded with all the bells and whistles, and crazy car, man. And he's like, man, I wanna look at the car. And we looked at the car, but then I was like, no, that's too crazy, that's even crazier than what you have. And because he already had a sports car, by the way, the kid. Okay. So the mom was also concerned about that. So she wanted to switch him from that to, like a little car or something that would be less insurance, less payment, all of that. So we were looking at that, but the kid never wanted that, At the end, bro, the way I was able to close the kid was on the Mustang. There was no other way. But I closed the kid. Nobody could close the kid, man. Nobody. Nobody.
That's it. It's what makes people feel. At the end of the day, that's what drives. Sometimes, feelings are so powerful because as humans, we make decisions that maybe logically, would probably be the best route. Right. But at the end of the day, what feels good is what people will decide. Yeah. No. And
I think we spend sometimes time trying to close these people instead of letting them close themselves. Exactly. You know what I mean? they need to close themselves. If you don't let them close themselves and ask them, hey, how can I close you? Literally, just asking me, what can I do to close you? What would you like me to do or have or whatever, what type of value you want so I can close you? And the guy is going to tell you like, man, if I had this car, my dream car, you could close me. And then you can make it happen. And then that's it. I mean, the guy is never going to say no, to his dream car or whatever. But man, let's keep going with this. So I love what you said before about, everything you said about the business owners and how just switching people can be a huge difference. And I know why that happens, It's because of lack of business knowledge in this business owner's side, right? Like they don't have really what it takes. They're just good cooks, good carpenters, good construction people, whatever. They don't know anything about business. So tell us your opinion about the lack of business knowledge that you've seen that business owners have, and what do you do to tackle that and eliminate those limiting beliefs these guys have?
I love that. I love that subject because I think the first step is being aware. Once you're aware, then transformation starts. And I believe that people that start with the passion more than the business knowledge, I think that you have more fun. Because there's a lot of people that have a lot of business knowledge, but then they go into business just because of business, but they have zero feeling whatsoever. And then they lose it, right? So what I believe is that if you start and you have a passion and you have a gift for what you do, like for example, cooking. I have a lot of people that love to cook and they'll spend hours tasting different things and then making it look beautiful and stuff. It's great. Keep it up. Keep up that drive, that emotion. You just have to be aware. Okay. What am I lacking? What do I need to make this beautiful concept that I believe is beautiful? What do I need to do to make people see it as beautiful as I see it?
Right.
So when it comes to going from self-employed and just being your own boss to actually being a business owner, here's a big word, and I know it's very hard, but you have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to delegate, because when you do something, and we're all being guilty of this, we want things to come out as perfect as we believe is perfect, right? We believe that the way it should be done is the way that we do it, but we never give the opportunity for other people to do it, because then it's not the way you see it. So you have to delegate, and you have to give yourself permission to lose control. Right. Because we want to control everything. And that's the reason we don't become business owners. As a business owner, you don't control everything. Yeah. You understand the systems put in place, but you can't control everything. When you're self-employed, you control everything, but you have no time. You control everything except time, right? You control everything except time. So you have to delegate. You have to give something, and you have to say, you know what? This isn't the dream that I have. This is how I want it to look, but I'm going to delegate, and I'm going to release control. And then I'm going to understand what other areas I have to go. Because here's the question that I always ask people. Okay. What's bigger? What's a bigger urge in your life? The need to have control of how things should be, or the need for thousands of people to benefit from your talent? There's only two. There's only two ways. Now, if you say, Bryan, it's because I really need to have control, then that's a limiting belief. It is. And you're limiting yourself from delivering your talent to thousands of people because you don't want to let go. It's kind of like when you're doing this, right? You're not letting go. There's nothing coming in. So once people say, okay, Bryan, I want to help thousands of people benefit from my talent, then you have to release and you have to let go of control. And and if you understand where I'm headed here, that's why I start with mindset. Yeah. That's why I start with mindset, because I can tell a business owner, okay, so here's a strategy on how you're going to delegate, and here's a strategy how you're going to systemize it, and you're not going to be needed in the next 6 months. Yeah. Okay, great. That sounds great, Bryan. But if we don't work on the mindset, on the why, because everything starts with the why, then people won't be able to understand why you have to put a system. So it's always a mindset first. So yeah, it's always lose control. You have to lose control.
Yes. I agree, man. I agree. People want everything perfect. And you know what I think is that people don't also look for help because they just think like, oh, I'm a great cook, you know, and I started this restaurant. It's gonna be the best restaurant. Just because your ability of cooking, you know, it's great, doesn't mean your business is gonna be great. You know, you're just a great cook. So yeah, everybody that tastes your food is gonna be delighted, but you cannot scale yourself infinitely. Okay. You need help of other people. You need to lose control, like you said, you know, and delegate that control for other people to help you and become part of your vision, and help them realize their vision too, and you know, like realize it but make it true too.
I
I mean,
agree.
the team, you need to help other people. That is the only way to growth, I see it. You need to help other people, you know, your employees, your family, people around you. Hey man, how can I help you, give you value? And then you know that, then they sell themselves
You
with
build
you, like,
you build
yeah,
people. Your job as a business owner
yeah.
is to build people, and the people will build your business.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not the other
man,
way
it's funny.
around. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah. I mean, it's not the other way around. You know, we try to build a
Yeah.
business to help people. It's the other
Hmm.
way around. You build people, you help people through building them, and they will build your business.
Yeah. You know, man, like in marketing, just so you know a little bit, and we continue with the questions. This is great, by the way, Brian. Who loves Brian? Please leave in the comments. Our
Awesome.
fans
Thanks, guys.
here,
Thanks, guys.
man, you're great, man. Love it. It's been awesome so far, and we're not done yet. Okay, so don't leave. We got
No,
more
I'm
stuff. We
ready.
got more Brian coming. So, man, like, you know, like I talk to bunch of business owners all, like, every day, man, every single day. Okay, not just because of the interviews. You know, we do marketing, website design, all of that, and it becomes, I'm selling them a website, and it becomes a sales uh, consulting, or it becomes a business coaching, whatever, because just people don't know, right? They don't understand, and they don't understand what you said. Like, you have to build people. They think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring this guy, this talent, and then he's gonna grow my business. And that's
Mm-hmm.
never the case. You can never do that. I mean, it's never gonna happen. You know, you need to be skilled yourself and know yourself, and then be, you know, like we had this guy in the, well, in the last two events we had. He's a $10 million guy. Okay, he's
Mm-hmm.
got a business in Texas. He's the number 66 in Texas, the entire state,
Mm-hmm.
as fastest growing businesses in Texas. And he said, as soon as I recognized that I didn't have to know everything, just enough, and bring the talent, but being able to recognize if the guy was doing a great job, my business grew exponentially,
Mm-hmm.
because I understood that. But you need to train these people, and you need to get them to a level that, you know, will help your business. If not, it's never going to happen. Now,
Absolutely.
yeah, let's continue, man. This is a great question, and everybody's like, oh my god, what the fuck. uh Dude, what have been some of the hardest moments for you in business?
That's a great question. I think one of the hardest moments, I mean, there's been several,
Okay.
but the hardest moments have been when you're constantly doing something, right? And you don't see results. So the definition for that is having the faith that it's going to happen, it's going to work. And the hardest moments have been that, you know, you're struggling maybe financially, you don't feel that it's going to work, and you're consistently building and working, and you don't see the results. And here's my advice to that, because there's been several things that have been difficult that I'm going to share with you, but here's my advice to that particular part. Okay.
Yes.
Your goals in life should be written down with the permanent marker. Okay.
Right.
But the date should be written down with a pencil, because that can change. You can erase that, but not the goal. And,
Oh,
and
I love that, man.
having the certainty is a blessing, because the difficult times build character.
Yeah.
The yeses in your business build your business. The no's build character. You need both. You cannot have success without character. And you cannot just have character, success follows character. So it's you have to have this level of certainty to understand that what you're going through is part of your process. And that's one of the hardest things, kind of having that mindset. Two is people that surround you, your environment, taking care of your environment, people that lift you up spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. You have to learn how to change your environment. When children learn a language, not because they heard it once, they learned it because of repetition. In our subconscious mind, we do not choose what we are going to speak and do. But if you're in an environment where all you hear is negativity, whether you think you are accepting it or not, your subconscious mind does not control it. It will just absorb it. And then all of a sudden you will start having negative results in your life, period. You know what? Most people say, Brian, I disagree. Well, look, whether you believe it or not, what you don't know does hurt you.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So that's important.
Dude, that is the elephant in the room. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah.
And it comes back to the mindset. Exactly. Everything's a mindset.
Exactly. So that was very difficult for me. I mean, having the right environment, because throughout my journey, I had all these dreams and goals. I want to do this, I want to do that, but my environment, I mean, was not in the beginning, was not exactly the people that I needed. So I had to change my network. I had to change people 100%. That I spoke to. I had to change who I, grabbed coffee with, or even who I grabbed a drink with. If I wanted to drink, instead of going to happy hour with the buddies and just joking and just criticizing, now I want to go maybe happy hour with someone and create a business. Right. So that is important. And then the last thing that was difficult for me is honestly is keeping the right people in your inner circle. Keeping the right people in your inner circle. I've always said that there's many things. There's three things that all business owners want in life, and everybody in life wants. Okay. And these three things that I'm going to share with you is three things that you can only build, not purchase. They're so valuable that you can only build them. You cannot purchase them. And when people have money, they're willing to give all their money to buy those three things that you cannot purchase them. You can only build them. The first one is health. You cannot purchase health. I mean, you have to build a right health. Two, loyalty. You cannot purchase loyalty. You can only build loyalty.
Yes.
And three is true love, true connection. You cannot purchase that. You have to build it. So that for me was a big thing throughout my career. I mean, taking care of my health so I can be on peak state all the time and deliver, having the right people that are loyal, people that are real with you, and then people that truly love and connect with you at an emotional level. So those are the things that I think have been important for me, that it's part of the struggle, but I learned and overcame them overall.
Man, you've given so much value to my people, man. Thank you so much, Brian. It's been crazy, man. The stuff that you've talked about is like, it's just the truth. Yeah. And what everybody here has to hear, because remember I don't know if you know this, but our audience is small businesses. Okay. They're either just starting or they need this, they coming here because this is their oasis, Oh yeah. They're like, oh man, here I breathe and they're telling me the truth. And I know this, these people is relatable. Like they relate with us easily because, we're not billionaires yet. Yeah, we will. But, we're immigrants hustling, doing all this stuff.
And that's so valuable. And that's so valuable that you did this, man. I mean, I believe that it's part of having the right community. Yes. It's part of having the right community. If you don't have the right community, but honestly, you're going in circles. Yes. And creating the community where you really need to grow. I mean, that is so key. And I congratulate you on that. You're doing great things. And I know it's a lot of value.
Oh man, thank you so much. No, and guys, by the way, we'll have Brian more, okay, in other bands and stuff that we're gonna do. But man, let's continue here and then 2 more questions and we're done. Thank you so much, Brian. You're the best.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man.
Dude, so if you were if you could talk to the little Brian that was starting selling the Kirby's, okay, the Kirby's, the vacuum cleaners, what would you tell him right now?
That's a good question. Man, just I would say, you know what? Laugh a little bit more. Laugh a little bit more. And I want to tell you why. Having a sense of humor in life, and especially in business, is so key, because
I love that.
It's kind of like, it's like a switch. Okay.
Yeah.
When you walk into a dark room, you look for the switch, and the switch turns on the light, right? And the light is what makes you have vision. And if you have vision, if you can see, then you can walk the right way. So everything with a great attitude in life changes. So having a right sense of humor, it's so key. I mean, it's interesting because instead of getting frustrated and mad at the lack of success, or getting frustrated and mad at the lack of me not maybe selling or something like that,
right?
I would focus more on just laughing more, and just trying to see how this happened, or this problem that's happening, how can I make it so that I can laugh at it and just say, you know what, man, it's part of my life, part of growth. So, I mean, for example, I remember when I was selling Kirby's, it was so funny, man. I knocked on this door, and this lady, somehow she said, okay, well, I'm interested, so you can show me your deal. And man, that thing was heavy. So I said, well, can you help me put it inside? Cause I can't lift it by myself. So here I am with the lady, we're putting in the product. And then, it was just crazy. And I didn't even, and it's funny because we had like a specialist, right? The specialist would come in and do all the whole work. And I'm here, I'm trying to do my whole deal, and I'm getting this frustrated because I didn't know how to work the thing exactly how it should have. But if I were to go back, I'd just laugh. I'd just laugh. And now if you see, like, for example, when I'm doing a sales presentation or speaking with the client, I mean, I laugh a lot. I use a lot of humor. Humor is just a door opener, and I use it for my life. I mean, stress is, I don't call it stress. I just laugh at it, right? Anything that comes to your life, this is the way we should think. Okay. Whatever happens in my life is happening for a reason. So your way of thinking should say this, okay, problem or whatever thing is going in my life, hurry the fuck up. Do what you got to do in my life because I'm in a hurry. Let's go. Right? Whatever is going on in your life, hurry the fuck up. Hurry up. Teach me, but fast, because I'm in a hurry. I gotta go. I gotta do something, and then just laugh. So that's what I would tell you.
Man, I love that. That was an amazing answer, man. I would never expected it. And we'll all now, man. With that advice, we'll go and have some what is it, like joking lessons, whatever. I don't know what is.
Oh man,
what is that called? Like stand-ups. Like
stand-up comedy, right? Yeah. Some people will buy, because think about it. Some people would live, Brian, you're so fun. And you know what, you're going to be my guy, man. I'm going to purchase from you. And I'm like, great. Maybe and don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of great, sales experts out there, but you know what, if I can make you laugh and I can make you have a great time, and it shows more genuine, you're more genuine when you have a sense of humor. It's like, take life serious, man. Let's just get it rolling. Let's make it fun. Let's make money and let's enjoy life.
Man, no, that was a great advice, man. Now the last thing, and you already given so many of this, man, but I always ask this at the end to everybody, so I obviously can't miss this question. And this is the last question, man. Thank you so much for being here, Brian. You're the best, man.
My pleasure, man.
Love you, bro. We're going to do more stuff together. Everybody in the comments, please say thank you to Brian.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's been an honor having you, man. Thank you so much. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Now, the last question is always, what are 3 tips that you would give small business owners to become successful?
So, I'm going to go back to those 3 things and that I mentioned, but maybe I'll give you a little bit more insights in what things you should do to focus on. Okay. So, mindset. Okay. You have to develop abilities and create the right strategy. So let me go a little bit, maybe more deeper in what you can do to have a better mindset. Okay. Simple things that, of course, it's just a profound message that we can speak about the mindset, but there's simple things that you as a business owner can do. For example, okay, you should have to start reading self-development books. Okay. You have to start reading stuff that makes maybe in your industry. If you're a restaurant owner, then start reading books on restaurant, new recipes, or whatever the case might be. Brayan, but I don't have time. If you don't have time for your personal growth, then you don't have time to accomplish your goals, period.
Woo.
So here's some things that I really recommend. Okay. And this is a quick little tip that's going to help you. Start reading 5 to 10 pages a day. I don't want you to read a chapter. I don't want you to read a book. Just read 10 pages. Find a book and 10 pages in a day. You find your time whenever you want, 10 pages. And then let's do a little bit of math. Okay. An average book has about 300 pages. An average book. See the value in that? So you can technically read a whole book in a month when an average person reads 3 books in their whole lifetime. Yeah. You are now reading, anywhere between, 12 books in a year? Imagine the type of knowledge you have. Yeah. And the type of ability you have to connect with other people. And then you start developing your people, and your people start developing your business. If you grow here, you grow in your business. So that's one of the first things that I would recommend. Number 2 on the mindset is practice your self-visualization. How do you visualize yourself and where you want to be headed? Have that clarity. Once you have that clarity, I need you to describe exactly how your life is once you've achieved that. Because if you can describe it, then you're basically connecting all your senses. Right. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can walk it. That is so crazy. It's crazy. And trust me, guys, it's so important. The power of visualization. There's this training where, and trust me, this really works. Okay. So Andre Agassi, he's a tennis player, right? And Andre Agassi was going through depression. And then he calls Tony Robbins, right? He's one of my mentors. And Tony Robbins says, okay, Andre, so I'm going to help you. And I want to see you, when you were a champion. So Andre Agassi puts a video, and he's hitting the rack. He's hitting the ball with this, and he's just walking with his chest up. And he's like, I want to see a video of you now playing. And then Tony Robbins says, do you see the difference? I need you to now walk like that. I need you to pick your chest up the way you were walking like a champion, because you're not walking like a champion now. And then Andre Agassi asked him, well, how does a champion walk? Look at that. I need you to walk like that. I need you to talk like that. I need you to dress like that. I need you to swing like that. I need you to listen to the music that pumps you up. And he shifted everything. He shifted his self-awareness. He shifted the way he feels. That's what I want you to do. Start acting like the person you want to become now. I'm not saying fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. I'm just saying.
I hate that advice, man. Yeah, no, I understand.
And it's start inside. It's more than
the
outside.
Your head.
Exactly, inside. So those are the key components. And when it comes to abilities, things that you want to learn. Okay, this is something that I've always will teach people. You have to have an ability to connect with individuals, speak their language, listen more than we speak to them, hear them out, solve their problems, and seek to understand them instead of you trying to have an urge to be understood. Yeah. That is an ability you have to learn, because you have to learn how to work with people. And obviously abilities when it comes to your business, anybody that has a business probably has more ability than me in the particular business. You know, for example, if you're in a restaurant, you know how to cook better than me. That's an ability. You have to have it. You already got that set. I'm working more on the developing people. And then the last but not least, strategies. Okay. Seek mentors, seek people that have, we're here with an expert, right? Go to someone that can make your life easier when it comes to strategies and systems, because you need them. You have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to bring your ego down so that your wallet can go up. Wow. It's that simple. And those are the 3 components that I believe any business owner, if they do those, your business will change transformational. And remember this, any decision you make today, you will see results in 90 days. Yeah. So if you start tomorrow, well, then you'll see it in 90 days. If you start next month, you'll see it in 90 days from that next month. So whenever you decide to start, I'd say start now. You'll start seeing results as soon as February, or January. Yeah.
No, man. Wow. No, that was insane, man. That was insane. Everybody say thanks in the comments, okay, for Brayan. This was an amazing live, business players live. Man, you left me speechless. You
Thank
kill
you,
it, man.
man. I
Thank you so
appreciate I
much.
appreciate to all your community. Thank you so much, guys. And hope this was of value to you guys overall.
Yeah, no, man, it was super valued, really, really. At some point, I was gonna tell you, man, don't give all the sauce, you know.
Oh no, there's more to come. There's more to come.
No, I know. I know there's more. Okay, so if you want to learn more from Brayan, stay tuned, because we'll have Brayan in other stuff, and he'll give you more of the sauce. Okay, there's lots of secret sauce to be there to be learned. And thank you so much for being here, Brayan, and thank you so much for everybody that watched this live with us and was there with us. I mean, love you guys. God bless you. God bless you, Brayan. Thank you so much,
Thank you, man. Likewise. Bless you guys. Thank you.
Yes, that's it. Let's go. Woo.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.